I am continuing my reading, and what I am doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit as I move along. I am currently reading in the book of Exodus. This will be chapter 22. It does contain certain portions from the Joseph Smith translation. And what the Joseph Smith translation is this is an inspired correction or translation of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those portions that have been lost over the years. So let us read chapter 22. The Lord reveals his laws pertaining to stealing, destructions by fire, care of property of others, borrowing, lascivious acts, sacrifices to false gods, afflicting widows, usury, reviling God, the firstborn of man and of animals, men of Israel commanded to be holy. So this isn't a real long chapter, but there's a whole lot in it. And just like the last one, some of it's a bit controversial in the modern day, so we will see if we can get through the entire thing in one video. Starting off, verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall not blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution if he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. Now there's something there that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I see no footnotes on them. Anyways, basics of this is if you steal animals and sell them or kill them, whatever, you have to pay back 5 or 4-fold, depending on the animal. Oxen were worth more because of the labor they could give. They could also be eaten. Sheep were, gave the wool and could be eaten, but apparently ox were worth a little more. So it was a 5 times for oxen or 4 times for sheep is what you had to pay back. If somebody is in the process of stealing and gets killed, then we don't execute the person that killed them. There's nothing there. If they don't die, then he has to make the restitution as stated. If he can't make the restitution, then he is sold into slavery. This is how you get slaves in ancient Israel. These guys were people who were thieves, were criminals, or debts. You sold yourself into slavery to pay a debt. This was a debt that you owed. Now, as it says, if you find the animal still alive, then he only has to pay double, not 5 or 4 times, only double if whatever you stole is still there, still alive. It's only if he has killed it or sold it that he has to pay back 4 or 5 times. So, verse 5, if a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field of the best of his own field, and the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of corn, or the standing corn, or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. So let us pause there again. So if you do property damage, you have to restore what you did. You let your animal eat in your neighbor's field, well, you have to give him the best of your field. Not just some of it, the best. And I like that. And again, restitution, if you light a fire and it catches something else on fire, you've got to pay for it. And if you borrow something and it is stolen, If you can find the thief, well, then the thief has to pay for it. But if you can't identify the thief, then the person you borrowed it from can accuse you before the judges, and you have to prove that you didn't steal it yourself. And if you have it, and you say, well, this is mine, and he says, no, it's mine, you borrowed it from me, then you both go to the judges, and the judges decide who it belongs to. And whoever the judges decide in favor of, the other, whoever they condemn, whoever they say was in the wrong, has to pay double. So, verse 10, if a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. Okay, so if you're tending the animals of your neighbor, and something happens to them out of your control, if they wander off, if they get lost, or if they are killed in some way, as long as you can prove that you were not the cause of it, you are not punished. Verse 14, and if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire. And if a man entice a maid, let's pause one more thing here. If you borrow aught of your neighbor and it be hurt, so if I was watching over it, if I was supposed to be watching over it and I wasn't and something happened, then I have to make restitution because I did not keep it safe like I was supposed to. But if I am watching it and I'm doing my due diligence and something still happens to it, then I am again clear. Anyways, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. Thou shalt not... Okay, let us pause again here. So, if a man seduces a woman, in other words, if they have sex, if they sleep together, he is required to marry her. As long as she's not already engaged to somebody else, he is required to marry her. However, if her father doesn't want to allow her to marry him, he can refuse the marriage. And if he does, then the man who seduced her has to pay her father the dowry that her father would have paid for her marriage. Because remember, when a woman gets married, her father pays a dowry that she takes with her to be her own support. That is her money. It is not his. It's not the husband's money. It is her money. So if he seduces her and the father says, no, you're not marrying my daughter, then he has to pay the woman a dowry. He has to give her her money, her support. And this is partly because it is true that if she was seduced, it is less likely that other men will want to marry her. And so God is saying, look, if you're going to do this, then you are going to take care of her. If her father won't let you marry her, you still have to give her her money so that she has support. Anyways, verse 18, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrifice unto any god, save unto the Lord only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Interesting. Verse 18 changes the word, the Joseph Smith translation changes the word witch to murderer. That's an interesting change. It's very, very different. I mean, a witch is not necessarily a murder. They're very different things. But the Joseph Smith translation changes that to murderer. Very interesting. Verse 21, thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. Ye shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot. And I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. So, again, now oppression isn't physical beating. It's, you can't make one law for the stranger and one law for you. Everything has to apply evenly. You can't forbid the strangers from certain occupations. You can't restrict them to certain areas of town. They have to be free. And with the widows and the fatherless, it reminds me of the old orphanages where kids were put and told basically that because they were orphaned, that was proof that they were evil. And, it was just a bad situation. Those kind of things, God say, no, you take care of the widows, you take care of the fatherless. Anyway, verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass, when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Okay. We're going to pause there again. The lending of money, usury, that's interest. So you don't take the poor and you say, oh, well, I'll lend you $1,000 if you pay me back $1,200. No interest. But it does state poor of my people. So this is talking about Israel. The Israelites were not allowed to charge usury on other Israelites. You lent them money, you got back exactly what you lent. That last verse there, 28, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Joseph Smith's translation here fixes this. Thou shalt not revile against God, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Now the ruler right now is Moses. He will later be the judges and then the kings. So here we go. Verse 29. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. Then the 8th day thou shalt give it me. And ye shall be holy men unto me, neither shall ye eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. Ye shall cast it to the dogs. Okay, that last part there. Every firstborn thing, that includes the fruit, the grain, the animals, and even the men, the sons born. They were all to be consecrated to God. You kept them for 7 days, and then you brought them into the service of God. Anyways, I'm going to leave that here, and we'll pick this up in the next one.